Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is footage taken from a double-up game that I played with the Antisocial Monkey. And in this game, we're going to be looking at a slightly different team composition than what I've played before. This is a Misfortune team, but a Misfortune team that plays through the Superfans trait. In other words, relies on all those early Superfan units, and then uses them to get through the early and mid-game before transitioning into a late-game board with some stronger units. So we have our initial portal here. You saw from the staging screen, I think most of our opponents were in Masters. That's pretty common. Pretty much all the games the players we're up against are mostly in Masters tier now. ASM is actually in Masters tier. I'm trying to get there. But we have our choice of different portals. We've chosen to take the Anvil portal, and I am actually the one picked this time. So I'm going to get the completed item, and I am happy with that. I didn't like the other options as much, so we'll see what that turns into. All right, as I said, I've been playing a decent number of double-up games, typically with Antisocial Monkey. JDPL Grillo is often one I play with, but he's had a much busier, just a very busy sequence of months recently, so he hasn't had time to play as many of these games as usual. So I've been queuing up with more with ASM, occasionally with Symbol. I could queue up with Headwinder, but those of you who have watched the stream know that I have terrible luck when I queue for double up mode with Headwinder. I'm not exactly sure why, but I have terrible results. So someday we'll make it work, but it hasn't been working thus far. In this game, I did get the early Misfortune drop. I also got the early Nico drop, and that's going to really characterize the game that I end up playing here. As I said, it's going to be Misfortune along with Superfans, because, you know, I already have the Nico, I already have the Misfortune, so all I would need to do is find a Lilia and a Kennen to make this work. Also have a good initial starting item for Misfortune. I can start with Last Whisper, which is very nice. There is a Lilia. If you're wondering why am I picking up the Punk units, that's because ASM often likes to play Punk. It's kind of the default comp that he goes towards, and he has already managed to head in that direction in this game as well. So I'm going to be looking to send him Jinx's Vise and the other Punk units. Punk is strong in this patch. I believe it's getting nerfed to some extent in the patch that's about to come out as this video gets posted, but very strong in this patch. It was honestly overbuffed. And in double up mode, it tends to be even better because it's very easy to get spatulas, and it makes it much easier to play Punk 6, which is very good. Normally Punk 4, which is the normal version of Punk, falls off in the late game, but with Punk 6, it doesn't fall off to nearly the same extent. All right, options here. Pandora's items, always an option. I like support catch here, though. Choose one of 4 support items. I think that's the best thing I can get. I'm looking around here. Obsidian Cleaver, not bad for MF, but I see Aegis of the Legion. Grants attack speed and armor and magic resistance to the holder, adjacent allies, and allies behind them. I was like, attack speed's going to be good with MF. And then look, I also have the option for a Kennen Headliner. This is great. I will happily play the Kennen because Kennen is going to put Superfans trait in play. As soon as I can put the Lilia on the board, I actually don't have enough gold to put the Lilia on the board. I can also put that Aegis on the Kennen. I can make the Last Whisper for Misfortune. And I also can grab another item here. I was looking at the different options. I was like, do I want Frontline here? Do I want an item for MF? I was like, let's just take the MF item. I think I'm going to have enough Frontline. What I really need now is additional damage. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. And MF's just going to start the game with a Last Whisper and a Deathblade. That's pretty good. Rather nice items for her. These are probably some of her best in slot items. In any case, it looks like I would probably lose this round, but Antisocial Monkey is able to come over and join me. It's actually a 4-way battle here. Can MF kill that K'Sante that's on top of her? Yes. And then along with the Jinx and the Pantheon, we're able to win. And that's pretty nice. Always nice to get out to that early win streak. So let's pick up the Lilia, level, and we'll put the, let's see, I can put the Lilia in for Superfan, or I can play the Kaisa for Big Shot trait. And I think that the Big Shot trait is slightly better here. By the way, also with playing Kaisa here, it means that when Lilia goes in, not only do I get Superfan trait in played, I actually get KDA trait in as well. So yeah, that's looking pretty nice. There's some good internal synergies here. I've never really played Misfortune with a Superfans build, but as I said, there's some definite synergy here that's lining up nicely, and that I'm hoping to put together. Also note that someone has made a 3-star K'Sante on stage 2-2. Yeah, 3-star K'Sante. Good thing they have like literally nothing else. They're running Cluttered Mind. So I don't know if ASM was going to beat that board, but I win my round very quickly against someone who's not really trying to field a board. And so together, all of us are going to be able to win this. I think ASM would have won that round anyway because his Jinx was untouched in the back lines, but together we can win that pretty easily. And then I'm just going to hit the Lilia as well, so this game's definitely giving me a lot of stuff. Going to be able to play the 2-star Lilia, so we'll be able to hit that. I sell the Vi. That's because ASM just hit 3-star Vi on his own. You might have seen that popping up on the interface, so I do not need to hold that unit. And I'll go ahead and pre-level here because I know that the Lilia is going to go in 100% on the next, as soon as this is done. It's going to go in on 2-4, so I will pre-level here. That means I'll be level 5. I'll get a level 5 shop. That means I have slightly higher odds to find Misfortune, slightly higher odds to find more Nikos, etc. More of the elevated units. By the way, I also need to move the Nico next to Kennen. Aegis of the Legion does grant armor, magic resistance, and attack speed, not just to the holder, not just to units standing behind the holder, but also to adjacent allies as well. So I can get that extra armor, MR, and attack speed on the Nico. And there's really no reason not to do so. So I'll have to remember to do that. I think I remember to do that on one of these upcoming rounds. Anyway, so far so good. 3 rounds, 3 wins for both of us. This does mean we are last pick on the carousel. Where is our young, wild, and free augment in order to take that? So it's always a little bit frustrating when you're win streaking through the early game and then that spatula pops up, especially in double up mode where spatulas are everywhere. It just makes it a lot easier for a competing team to try to hit like Pentakill 10 or KDA 10 or something like that. So it's a little bit frustrating when that happens. All right, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take the set here. This is great. I'll be able to make Sunfire Cape on Kennen, which is always good for the early game. Also, set will sell for 3 gold, so that's really nice too. I'll go ahead and put that on there. And I'll go ahead and pick up the Echo as well because I might want to play that unit as well. It would get me Sentinel trait in play down the road. So there we go. This is more of the positioning I want. Kennen is now next to Lilia and Nico. He's giving the attack speed bonus from his Aegis of the Legion onto Misfortune. And he has now picked up his Superfans item. That is the Protector's Vow. So very nice interlocking set of synergies here. I also would be quite happy to get Bard on my board as well and play Bard for Jazz trait because you can see I already have 5 traits in. Jazz would get me a 6th trait, and you know that's going to be pretty good value. Jazz, of course, giving you additional health and additional damage based on how many traits you have in for the whole team. So yeah, like we just effortlessly cut through this Cassante Heartsteel board. Like that board might as well not have existed. It was so easy to win that round. They are going to get a Heartsteel cash out, but that's okay. All right, so now I have the send back. I have not found anything to send to Antisocial Monkey, so that's a bit unfortunate that I was not seeing more in the way of Punk units. He is also being contested by this person, One Shot J, so there's another person trying to play Punk in this lobby. Always going to make it a little bit trickier in order to run the comp. If no one contests you on the comp, it's kind of like a free win. Note that person took the Deathblade. That is the augment that grants additional gold. That you get a Deathblade, and Deathblade has a chance to drop gold if you kill things with it. That is a bit of a win more augment, if that makes sense, though, because if you're not killing anything, the Deathblade does not print you any gold. So if your team is struggling to win rounds, it actually is kind of a weak augment. And this person is not actually winning rounds. You can see I win pretty easily, and Antisocial was coming in to reinforce. So he actually won even faster than I did. And we're both on full win streak, and we're just kind of cruising here. By the way, I should probably buy the Kennen so I could sell and replace if I need to. Okay, never mind. You saw I sold the Echo. The reason for that was that got me to 20 gold, so I thought it would make sense to do that. I'm going to get a Bard drop from ASM. Very nice. Of course, I find Bard on my own, but it's not bad having that. Note that I could also play Nar here for another tier of Superfan. That would not be bad. I could also just play a random Sentinel to get Sentinel trade in. But I think Bard is definitely the best option here. Jazz trait's going to have a lot of value, as I said, since I already am playing 6 traits. Jazz trait, as I said, grants, what is it? It's attack damage and health based on how many traits you have in. Jazz 2 is 1.5% health, 1% damage per trait. So that'll be with 6 traits, 6% damage and 9% extra health. I mean, you know, not huge in terms of the numbers, but every bit helps. It is on every single unit. So, you know, 9% additional health on 6 units is certainly not bad. So anyway, I'll go ahead and sell the Echo because I'm on full win streak. I definitely want to level, and in goes the Bard. So now I've got the extra health, the extra damage, and we're just kind of cruising here. If there is a downside, it's that this rod is not really what I'm looking for. I don't really have that many items I can make that build out of a Raj. I suppose I could make a Rage Blade. Would not be bad. I am already getting some attack speed on Misfortune from the Aegis of the Legion that Kennen's holding, so it's a little bit less crucial to have like a Rage Blade here, but I might look to make that item. We'll see. I also wouldn't mind additional damage. I do have the Death Blade though, so that's pretty nice. And of course, Big Shot trait also yields additional physical damage. This round's a little bit closer because this person has the 2-star Senna, and they also have, looks like they're running Superfans Senna with the Spear of Shojin, but we still win relatively easily. Like, a lot of the units were low, but nothing actually died. So that's important because I want to make sure my win streak continues. It was definitely worthwhile leveling to 6 there just to make sure that that continues. And now we're actually at full value for a win streak, which is 6 rounds in this current patch. So good options here. Vampirism would not be bad. Gaining the extra health, the extra Omnivamp would be nice. But I see Harm Assist, which is going to give me more Omnivamp. And I'm going to snap that up. I actually was having a discussion with Antisocial Monkey here about the Harm Assist. And he wasn't a big fan of Harm Assist, especially the silver version, which is admittedly pretty weak in comparison to the golden prismatic versions, as I finally find some punk units and can send this Twitch over to him. But I do think it was the strongest of the options that I had available there. Harm Assist is very good if you have like a carry that's really strongly itemized. If you have kind of like a weak carries, it's not very good, because obviously the more damage you do, the more you're healing, and the more that gets funneled back into the augment. So if you are like all frontline champs, then Harm Assist is really weak. But I actually think that the MF is going to be pretty strong once I have a chance to, well, 2-star her first. I have not seen any misfortunes after that first one, but I do think that it's going to scale well into the late game, because it basically means she doesn't need to itemize healing. She'll be able to get at least some healing from Harm Assist augment, not have to worry about like a Hand of Justice or a Bloodthirster or something like that. She can just get innate healing off of having the trait. I've run that to good success in some past games with like Samira 3-star, Misfortune 3-star. Harm Assist tends to work pretty nicely for them. All right, here I'm going to hit with the 2-star Kaisa. That's very nice. There's also a Bard, Jazz Bard headliner. But no, it would be a big mistake to sell that. Yes, I could go for 3-star Bard, but what is 3-star Bard going to do? He has no items in place. Like, the Bard headliner stacks up his dutes over the course of the game, so he can get stronger over the course of the game. But I want a Misfortune headliner. That's the one I want. So I don't want to pick up the Bard. And Kennen's just much better right now. If I lost Kennen, I would lose Superfan trait. I would lose Guardian trait. And he actually has True Damage as his doubled trait. So he's actually giving me kind of a free trait there. So I would just, like, if I sold the Kennen right now, it would just be a disaster. So I cannot move out of the Kennen yet until I have stuff ready to replace him, and the time to do that is going to be on either level 7 or level 8. I'll have to decide what makes more sense, but want to get to a position where we can replace Kennen with a Misfortune headliner and look to go for there. Hopefully I'll find some more as the game goes on, but so far my board seems like it's been very, very strong. A lot of pieces came together in the early game, hitting the, as I said, hitting the early Kennen, getting the Kennen headliner, hitting the early Lilia, hitting the early Nico, hitting the Misfortune from the first round of the game, getting the 2-star Kaisa. Just like, I have a lot of interlocking synergies working together here. All right. So we are last picks on the carousel. Fortunately, no spatula this time. ASM's going to get the chance to pick before me. He's going to go ahead and take the Vex. Now it's my turn to pick. And out of these options here, it looks like the bow is clearly the best of these three. Can I get the bow? Yes, I can. Note to anyone watching this, the items, the hitbox for the item is in the very, very back of the champion. You want to target like the back legs of the champion. So people are often thrown off by that. Because I now have the bow, I can think about if I want to try to make a Rage Blade here. That would not be a bad option just because I don't really have good ways to use the rods. There was no spatula option for me this round, so I'm going to opt to take the training dummies instead. And yes, I will go ahead and make the Rage Blade because, as I said, I really have no good way to use this rod in this comp. This comp is doing basically all physical damage, not magic damage, so there's very little reason for me to use that rod. We can just use it for a Rage Blade. Note that Antisocial Monkey has also found a Misfortune. As soon as he sends that over to me, it will be Misfortune 2-star. And then I only need to find a headliner, which will give me 3 copies, and then 3 additional Misfortunes. That should be pretty doable. We have checked the lobby. No one else is playing Misfortune. I have gone ahead and leveled to level 7. This is the common play if you're win streaking. You want to try to preserve that win streak, and you want to try to put some pressure on the rest of the lobby. Note that this person has found an Ari, but they're only level 5. I'm level 7. I get to play 7 units to their 5. So I just bowl right through their front line, and it's not even close. And so we're going to be able to win this round. And again, that team's down to 41 HP. No, 37. Their partner just lost. So we really are putting pressure on the lobby by doing this. All right, now it's time for ASM's gift round. There is a spatula option, so of course he's going to want that. He already has a glove on his bench, so this is going to allow him to make make a Punk emblem, and then once he does that, he has Punk 6. He also got the send back. He's going to send me the MF 2-star. So our teams are really developing in tandem here. We've got the Punk 6 over on his board that we just hit from the spatula, and then I've got the Misfortune 2-star. Now, if I've been winning rounds relatively easily with Misfortune 1-star, you can imagine with Misfortune 2-star, it's only going to be that much better. When I leveled to 7, I put in the Echo. Echo gives me the Sentinel trait, so that's another trait. I now have 7 traits in. That's pretty good for this stage of the game, 7 traits in. Almost have perfect synergies. I just have the Wasted Dazzler and the Wasted Spellweaver over here. Otherwise, I would have like perfect synergies in place. And that means I get, what, it's like 10% additional health and 7% additional damage, I think. So the 10% additional health across the board is pretty nice. You know, if a unit has, I don't know, it's 2,000 health, now they have 2,200, you know, makes a difference when every single unit's getting the benefit. Hopefully later on I'll be able to play into higher tiers of Jazz too. All right, looks like Anti-Social Monkey was finally going to lose that round. He was up against the other Punk player, but I was able to come in and reinforce. Notably, the other Punk player was down on 0 gold, so that's good news for us. That person has no economy left. ASM did manage to make the 3-star Jinx, and he's had good luck, and he hit the 3-star Vi. He has not had such good luck at hitting some of the other units, for better or for worse, because he is contested 4 Pantheons, 4 Twitches, and then I do have a Twitch on my board as well. But yeah, he has the 6 Punk in, so that's going to be pretty good. Now he just needs to get some more Jinx items. He's a little bit lacking in Jinx items. Alrighty, so there's another MF that pops out. That's great. I'm just going to sell all these other units to get back to 50 gold. So this can go on an Ezreal. That's the intention, that later on this will go onto Ez. I have the send back, so I can potentially send this Twitch. I think I was asking, is it worthwhile to try to send a 1-star Twitch and then put that send on cooldown? Don't really have anything else to send though, so we'll go ahead and do that just so that that thing can go on cooldown and then come back up again. As I said, picked up the double tiers. I would like that to go on Ezreal long term. And then I also have the components for what's probably going to be a Gargoyle's Stone Plate. So we'd like to put that on someone. I need to figure out someone who could put this on. I went ahead and picked up the set because I'm planning on moving into a Bruiser frontline long term. So yeah, I'll go ahead and make the... Or what I'll go ahead and make the Gargoyle's Stone Plate that will activate the bling bonus on Echo, so that means he now heals when he uses his ult. Kennan's had his bling bonus in play from the start of the game because he's been itemized from the very beginning. This is a close round. I might have won this round. I'm not 100% sure if I would have won it or not, but certainly with ASM's help, I'm definitely going to win this. Now we have one final augment, and it's a gold one. Fortunately, it's not prismatic. We don't want it to be prismatic. I'm not seeing a lot of things that necessarily hit my team that hard. So out of these, I decided I would take Ascension. I don't think it's a great fit, but it's not that far off. Also, now I was disappointed that I went ahead and used the send on that Twitch because the very next round I find double Twitches. I was like, if I had held that one more round, I might have been able to send a 2-star Twitch. But it is what it is. We do have 7 Twitches between us. So that's pretty nice. Having 7 Twitches between us means it's probably just a matter of time until we can get the 3-star Twitch over to that board. ASM is now level 7, and presumably he's going to slow roll on 7 for some of his units. He can look for a Moo Vex, he can look for Twitch Pantheon. He has good odds for all of those units when he's level 7. I still have the double tiers on my bench. I'm pretty much just waiting to find an Ezreal in the hopes I can put these on Ez. I could, of course, put it on Kai'Sa, but then I'd have to sell Kai'Sa if I found Ezreal, so that's why I'm holding off on doing that. I guess I could put it on a unit that's going to get sold. Like, the Lilia is going to get sold, so I guess I could put it on Lilia just to get the benefit, but I don't think it would really give that much in the way of benefit. We're up against a 3-star Yasuo here, but it looks like we still win without too much trouble. I don't think that Yasuo had managed to get stacked up high enough on the initial rounds, but in any case, that person's edgelord board just kind of gets torn through, and Yasuo's just not that strong in this particular set for whatever reason. By the way, double Twisted Fates, that's kind of funny, but I'm not playing TF in this lobby. No TF in this lobby. If I want a 4-cost unit for this board, it's going to be the Ezreal, in addition to just 4-cost frontliners. Like, if this were, I don't know, like double Thresh or something, that would have been absolutely amazing, but it's not. So I'm getting prepared to do my big transition. This is going to be upcoming. We're going to have the carousel, and then I'm going to have the toughest round of the game. I'm going to need to sell the Kennen, reroll, try to find a new headliner. I'm really looking for Misfortune. I'd be fine with Jazz Misfortune. I'd be fine with Big Shot Misfortune. Either one is fine. I can play either one. I think the Jazz version would be slightly better because that way I can just lean into playing more traits, and I'd be quite happy with that. But the Big Shot version is fine too. If I can find Big Shot Misfortune, I would just play 4 Big Shots And I think that would also be pretty nice. And then just play like random lots of traits in front of it. I'm hoping to move into Bruiser Guardian frontline because Sentinels are just not that strong in this particular patch. And by the way, I win the round again. ASM wins the round again. We still have not lost a round in this game. We're on the 13-match winning streak, both of us here. So, I mean, that's pretty nice. There's also a Lucian on this carousel. I would happily take the Lucian because that would give me Jazz 3, and I'm sure I could slot him in. But of course, that's not going to last, to no surprise. That is definitely going to get grabbed by somebody. So everybody's picking up what they want here. Out of what's left over, I would probably like the sword, although I guess ASM needed that. So I'm going to go ahead, and I think I go after the... I think I go after the glove here, but I actually got blocked by that Twisted Fate. I couldn't take the most direct path there. So that's slightly unfortunate, but more frontline's not terrible. This is on a 4 gold champ. All right, so here we go. Let's sell the Kennen. We're going to move to level 8, and now we need to find our headliner. So, oh, there's an Alawi. Okay, well, yeah, we'll take that. Definitely look to play that. Superfan Nico, not bad, but again, I'm looking for... really looking for Misfortune here. Executioner Karthus, no. And we're not going for Bard 3-star. No, got to keep rolling. Emo, no. Blitzcrank, okay, maybe. More Nikos, more of that. There's a Yorick, okay, we can play that over something. And there's the 2-star Twitch, so I'll hold that for Anti-Social Monkey. So I did not manage to find a Misfortune yet, but I found an Alawi, I found a Yorick. That's pretty good. I can definitely make use of these. So let's go ahead and put some of these on the board. We'll just put these tank items on Alawi. She's such a good unit. We're definitely going to want to get her. And then I'll play this Set because I'd like to get Mosher trait. I can play Set plus Yorick, and then that'll actually give me Mosher trait, which is going to be really nice. Just as like a throw-in extra trait for Jazz value, because I'll definitely still be playing Jazz. Anyway, so definitely had some good stuff there. If we can just find the Misfortune headliner, we'll pretty much be good to go. And Antisocial's been grabbing them for me as well. All right. By the way, a lot of Aris here. I wish I were playing Ari. Guardian Thresh is tempting, but no, it's got to be the Misfortune. We really want the Misfortune. Rapid Fire Kate also tempting. A lot of good stuff here. Sentinel Blitz. It's like, oh man, game, why can't you give me some of these things in other games where I actually need this stuff? There is a and then there is a Thresh on here, so I do want to play some of these units. Let's put Blitz in, and we'll put the Yorick in, and then we want to put this Thresh on the board too. We also need to put, no, not you. We need to get Thresh on the board and a Set on the board. So still trying to figure this out, still transitioning here. Definitely want to buy the Thresh as well. So I'm definitely in the process of transitioning, selling a lot of my older units. Still just relying on the 2-star Misfortune to win these rounds. I actually have quite a few tank items on the bench. I was very much expecting to lose these rounds, but I think some of the other boards are in the process of transitioning as well. I'm going to have Ascension kick in for the bonus damage, and looks like I've got this round anyway. Normally you would lose these rounds while you're transitioning your board, but apparently the other people in the lobby were just a little bit on the weaker end. So we can definitely get some of these units out. So let's get the Thresh in. We don't need we can move out of the Nico because Thresh is going to be better. Also gives me a little more gold to roll. Yes, 2-star Nico is better than 1-star Thresh, but I want to be, I don't want to get confused over what units I'm looking for. All right, this front line's starting to look a little bit better. I now have the extra target dummies and the tentacles for more frontline. Plus, Alawi is going to give those extra armor and magic resistance from the, what do you call it, the Aegis to everybody. The Blitzcrank is like the one unit that's kind of wonky. I don't really need Blitzcrank. By the way, I still haven't seen a single Ezreal yet, which is kind of funny. Having trouble finding that unit. But we're going to keep rolling here. We're going to stick to our guns. Still confident that we can find this unit. Boy, it's taken a while. There's a 2-star Misfortune from Anti-Social Monkey. So I literally just need to find the Headwinder. I have everything else that I could need. Just need to get that. There's an Ezreal, so we're going to play that. And I should not have sold that. Whoops, definitely should have held that. The reason why is I might need that unit to play 4 big shots. So that's a bit of an issue. And we'll go ahead and put our tank items here. We're still rolling. And there it is. Big shot. It's a big shot Misfortune. Okay. So now I wish I hadn't sold the Kaisa because the Kaisa would have been 4 big shot. I could have taken out the Blitz and then put Kaisa on the board, and that should have been the correct board. Remember how I went the whole game without putting the blue buff on Kaisa so that I could put it on Ezreal and I wouldn't have to sell her? Yeah, then I forget at the very last second and actually sell the Kaisa anyway. But the correct board here would have been sell the Blitzcrank. We have enough front line. We can sell the Blitzcrank, and then Kaisa goes on the board, and then we play 4 big shot, and that's the correct board to play here. I would not lose any traits. I'm not getting Sentinel trait from Blitz. He's just in there with none of his traits, so that would have been the better option. And now I have the champion send back, so I'm going to send the Twitch over to Anti-Social Monkey. That's going to make the Twitch 3-star for him. Very nice. And now he has the option of sending me something because this is the last gift round. And he is going to send me, what did I get him? Oh, I got a Radiant item. That's right. He had the chance to send me a Radiant item. So I was like, oh, wow. And the random one I get is Radiant Steadfast Heart. This is really nice. It's gives an awful lot of tank stats. So I'll just go ahead and put this on the Thresh. And there we go. So we have quite a lot of front line right now. We have Alawi, Thresh, Set, Yorick, and Blitzcrank. This is like the 4 best tank units in the game. I guess you could say maybe Zac because he's the 4-cost bruiser, but Zac actually doesn't tank as well as Set. He gives more crowd control, but he doesn't actually tank as well as Set. And I think Set with Mosher trade in is a better tank than just Zac. But anyway, probably the 5 best tank units in the game, plus the targeting dummies, plus the ghouls from Yorick. And don't forget I have Harmless's trait on the Misfortune as well, so as she deals damage, she will heal off the damage taken as well. I would like to get more damage on my board. I have the Ezreal to help out as a secondary threat. I would like to 2-star the Ez. And then I'd really like to get another big shot. As I said, I think the Blitz could come out, but I need to find another big shot unit. I guess I could have grabbed that Corki. There was a Corki in the store. Of course, it would feel really bad to take out a Blitzcrank for a Corki, but 2-star Kaisa would have been the unit to play. So there's my one big mistake for the game. Not playing that unit. Anyway, time for the last gift round here. I'm going to send the Tome of Traits over to Antisocial Monkey. And I'm just going to go ahead and look to go to level 9. I think that I've hit enough of my board. There's still a lot of 1-stars, but my best odds of 2-starring things are actually from going to level 9. Also here, ASM is going to... he's going to pull from the Tome of Traits, and he actually ends up hitting a Rapid Fire Emblem. So he's actually going to have 3 Rapid Fire in, which is a little bit wonky, but... he can always try to go level up and then put in Lucian for 4 Rapid Fire. We actually would both like Lucian on our boards right now. Me for Jazz Trait, and then him for the 4 Rapid Fire. So we would both enjoy having that unit. Still, we've just, still been winning these rounds without a whole lot of difficulty. This is a pentakill board. They do have a pentakill emblem. It's very nice having the Harm Assist here to heal Misfortune as she takes damage, but my front line is just so tanky. It's really hard for people to get through it. And then, I can stall long enough for Ascension to kick in. And then these rounds, start to look pretty good. So we're still on 100 health. One team's dead. One team's on 1 health. One team is on 12. And we're almost done with this. So, yeah, not looking too shabby at this point in time. The real question in the game is, not so much can we win, but can we win the game on 100 HP is really the issue. I would have taken the Yorick because that would have been Yorick 2 out of 3 Yoriks, and I'd love to 2-star that unit. Instead, I'll take the Blitzcrank, and then that gets Blitz to that gets me 2-star Blitzcrank. Again, the unit that probably shouldn't be on this board, but not bad. And then the Shojin can go on someone down the road. I'm not quite sure who that could be. I guess it could be Ezreal, but he already has a blue buff, so I'm not sure that he needs another mana item on top of that. Could probably go on Jhin if I can find Jhin. It would mean that he casts with 2 autos instead of needing 3 if I could find that for him. Alrighty, so I'll move Blitz up to the front lines. Thresh is actually kind of in the set. Now I wish I had an item remover. I wish I could pop the items off Thresh and put them on Blitz. So even though Blitz has none of his traits in play, he is still a 2-star unit with like a lot of tank stats, and he is getting the Jazz benefit, although I've dropped down to only 5 Jazz traits. So anyway, we've been cruising along here. Everything's been great. And then I see this board. They have a 3-star Ezreal. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but they have 3-star Ezreal. So, oh boy. Well, our dreams of a Mr. 100 game are out the window now. And that means I will not see any more Ezreals for the rest of the game, because they have a 3-star version of Ezreal. Yeah, there are 10 Ezreals in the game, and he has 9 of them, and I have 1. Well, at least I did get the 1. It's a little unlucky I didn't see at least one other Ezreal, because remember, I went to level 8 pretty early on, rolled an awful lot of gold on level 8. Like, if I had just seen 2 Ezreals, then this person would not have been able to 3-star the Ezreal. So pretty lucky on their regard that they were able to hit the 3-star Ez. Considering how much gold I rolled and that I was looking for Ezreals the entire time, kind of unlucky that they that this person found 9 of them before I could find 2 of them. But I guess it is what it is. I mean, they do have the headliner that gets them 3 Ezreals, but they still found another 6 before I could find 2. So whatever, I guess it works out for them. This time I'm up against a Crowd Divers board. So the big issue with this setup here is the Crowd Divers are going to dive into the back line and get their stun off. Misfortune does heal as she deals damage, but she does not have like a Quicksilver Sash or something. And it turns out the Crowd Divers are actually able to get on top of her and kill her. One thing that is a bit of an issue for my board is backline access. Teams that have strong backline access can sometimes get back there and kill MF. I'm still a bit of a 1-threat comp because I have not been able to get that secondary threat. As I said, Ezreal is supposed to be the secondary threat, but I've not quite been able to develop him because I've only been able to find the one. And again, I wasn't able to keep that Kaisa for the Kaisa 2-star, which would have been 4 big shot. Still, I've been able to save gold here. I'm going to go to level 9. I'll have quite a bit of gold to roll with. I'm looking to 2-star my front line. Would love to hit Alawi 2-star, Yorick 2-star, Thresh 2-star. And then hopefully I can find... I can't find more Ezreals, but hopefully I can find a Jhin. And I can always find a Lucian. That could be a replacement for Bard as well. So as I said, I'm going to have plenty of gold to roll with here. Let's see. Go ahead and roll. We've got about 40 gold to roll with. So Kiana, not the 5 cost I'm looking for. Ziggs, I guess, is better than nothing. So we'll keep looking here. There's Kaisa. Well, I went past some Kaisas. That would be better than the Ziggs just for the 2-star. Just for the 2-star. Or excuse me, just for the... big shot 4. There's a Lucian. I should just take out the Bard and play Lucian. I actually forget to do that. There's Jhin, though, so we'll definitely play Jhin. And we'll keep rolling here. Can I 2-star any of the frontliners? No, I had kind of bad luck finding the frontliners. So we'll put the Shojin on Jhin. Got another item we can pick up here. I can put something on Ezreal or Jhin here, potentially. Probably better to put it on Ezreal. So we'll go ahead and do that, given the Hand of Justice. This is the non-Ezreal 3-star board. So if we want to win the lobby, we basically just have to beat the other player, the other person contesting Punk. And that's what this is. So I have Jhin. He's got all his turrets down, and that's going to be enough to win this, and that's going to wrap up the game. So we couldn't beat the Ezreal 3 board that was put together at the very end, but I mean, we could just beat their partner. And so we're going to win this very comfortable double-up game with, I think we had about 80 health, and you know, we had almost managed to get the perfect game with 100 health, but Ezreal 3-star unfortunately did put a close to that. So this was not a particularly crazy game. I really hadn't played Misfortune with Superfans before, and this game was so smooth. It felt so good that I might have to try that again sometimes because this actually worked better than I thought it would. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this very straightforward game. Thanks for joining me, Anti-Social Monkey. And until next time, hope everybody's having a great week. Take care, folks.